Hey folks, just wanted to give a bit of a thumbs up to the Stellar Phoenix software company. This little product right here, Stellar Phoenix Macintosh, really saved my life a little while back, and I just thought I'd show it to folks. I'm not getting paid by these folks, and I'm actually paid for this product myself, and yeah, I just think it's just fantastic. So thought I'd mention it. I have a little bit of a weird setup. You can probably tell, for those of you who know, this is a Windows machine, so this is Windows Disk Manager. And you'll see that drive flick in and out. That's a Mac OS drive connected by USB. And you can tell Windows is having a heck of a time just sort of reading the thing. It's got these three partitions. And if I go to try to look at this drive and look at these files, if I open up HFS Explorer, which I showed in a previous video, the drive is essentially completely corrupted, just blank. There's nothing there. I'm lying a little bit as this is a recovery partition for those of you who know Macs a little bit. So the recovery files for the OS are sitting on this partition. This partition was in a little better shape, so there were some files there, but again, it doesn't help the person who has data on the main partition. So this drive, you can tell it's not completely dead. It's certainly having some troubles here, but it's not completely dead. It's still functioning somehow. So I think it is important to note. Anyway, this is where this Stellar Phoenix Macintosh comes to the rescue. So it is a application that allows me, using a Windows machine, to recover a Mac drive, which is kind of cool. They have something so specific for that. They obviously have other versions as well, so you don't have to have this exact setup, but if you do, which is common, you can certainly recover Mac drives from a Windows machine if you needed to. I select Quick Recovery here, which is kind of a misnomer because it actually takes hours. If anybody's ever done this, it takes a long time. This is a relatively small drive too, so I'm only trying to recover a 500 gig partition. So you go Quick Recovery. I'm not going to run through it because this will take a long time, but you can see that it sees the partitions, and you select the partition you want, go to continue. It's going to try to scan it, and it's going to take hours, literally, depending on the level of corruption and the size of the drive. But this is what I did. Once it scans the drive and sees what table it can rebuild, like what's there available for it, you can select the files you want, and then tell it to build those files out, and I'll tell you, it's a little bit of magic. It's a little finicky, but you can imagine that it's a fairly complicated process, that this piece of software is basically making it look simple to you. Like it's awesome. I recovered everything of importance on this drive. It took some time. I don't know, the whole process probably took me 8 hours. Scanning and building and selecting different files that I wanted and try different things. So it took a while, but it just worked awesome. The cost, I think, was $125 US. And as I mentioned earlier, there's different versions depending on the source OS and the recovery OS. But for this particular product here, it's worth every penny in my opinion. So just wanted to give a little shout out to these guys, and if you have a dead drive of any sort, you can look to these folks, Stellar Phoenix. I'm sure they have a product for whatever file system you're trying to recover. But for my specific application, for a Windows machine trying to recover a Mac drive, just fantastic. So that's it. Leave your comments, and hope this helps. Bye for now.